As we all know, the Charleston real estate market is hot right now, very hot. And if you are in the process of buying or selling a home, our next guest can help you out. She can make everything be smoother. She can make it easier because she facilitates the closing process for you.
This is Charleston Women Podcast, where you can meet like-minded, strong, independent, professional, and inspiring local women. This is Charleston Women Podcast.
And now we would like to welcome to the show Sandra Patrick. She is the owner of South Carolina C2C, and she's here to talk about all things real estate and closing and so on. Sandra, so good to see you.
It's great to see you. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. You know, this is a hot topic. I want to talk about real estate in general, because I think all of us who live here or those people who have just moved here recently know that it is just booming in Charleston. Have you seen anything this high or this rapid of a climb in the years you've been in business?
Yeah, honestly, I have not. And
Good.
I started in real estate in 97 and then started my business 2002. So I've seen all sorts of markets, but this one's definitely a lot hotter than all the other ones we've seen before.
Right. Explain to me. I mean, I've heard different things said, like there's normally, 8,000 homes on the market and there's only 1,000 right now. Are all these rumors true? Like there's really no inventory right now. That's why people are just hopping on whatever they can get.
We do. We have low inventory, but what's happening is people will list their homes and then they go under contract as soon as they get listed. So people are still listing their homes. They're just getting sold really quick. They're not sitting out there on the market. So they're just coming in and going out really quickly. And people are definitely paying a good bit for them.
Who is buying these homes? Are they people that aren't from Charleston, or Charleston's just Charlestonians house hopping? Like, what are we seeing? Why the trends?
Well, there's definitely people moving here. I jokingly call it the Great Migration South of everybody leaving all the big cities up north and everything and Midwest and coming down here for the weather. Taxes are better. Prices of things are at least, not as expensive as they are where they are. But it's definitely a lot of people moving in here from out of state. And then you have a lot of sellers that are taking advantage of the market that are older and going to retirement communities, and then they're selling their homes. So it's definitely, I would say it's more so people moving in from out of town.
Absolutely. Let's talk about your business, because you do something very unique. You help with the closing process.
Right.
Kind of describe to me what you do. Is it you're working directly with realtors, or you're working with the home buyers? Okay.
We work with the clients too, but the real estate agent is the one who hires us. In a typical real estate agent's life, they are out getting a listing, doing a showing, marketing themselves. They're on the road. They're not sitting behind the desk kind of a thing. They're in their car. So they hire us as an extension of them. We're their admin from contract to closing. We charge a flat fee, but when they bring us in, we set the home inspection, get everything to the lender, to the attorney, get all those sort of things and pieces put together and stay in contact with all of them, which really helps with the buyer and the seller, because if they can't get a hold of their agent, they can reach us and feel like they're, in touch with what's going on and keeping up to date with how the contract is flowing, and then make sure we're all going to get to closing.
Right. Have you seen, obviously, an increase in your business because the realtors were so busy with everything? They're like, you just do it for me.
Oh, yeah. We closed 1,000 closings last year. My company did. And the year before, we were around about 500. So almost, it was double, basically.
Everyone's talking about real estate. The conversation continues with Voice for Real Estate podcast. Listen and learn from the experts who call the Carolinas home. Podcast advertising gives your business a voice of authority. Be heard. Advertise on this podcast. Visit voiceforrealestate.com.
You're listening to the Charleston Women Podcast.
You're one of those rare industries that you were more successful during COVID. Kudos to you.
Right, it really was. Sadly, some of these other people, lost their jobs or stayed at home and things like that. And we were just completely and totally slammed. But, that's the real estate market. It's feast or famine. So you take advantage of that market when you can. Right.
I'm more interested too in how did you get into this? I love talking to female entrepreneurs when you had that light bulb of an idea and say, I think I could take this and run with it. When did that happen? Walk me back to the beginning.
Well, thank you for asking that. I actually was started in real estate in 97 and worked for a local company here in Charleston and really enjoyed it. I was the office manager, and then they pulled me into the closing coordinator part of it. And I really, really liked helping the agents from contract to closing. And it's problem solving from the beginning to the end, constantly putting out fires and helping people. And I really did like that part of it. But to be honest, I was about to turn 30. There was no upward mobility, and I didn't want to sit in that same desk for the next, 20, 30 years.
Sure.
So I prayed about it, took a leap of faith, and started my own business doing exactly what I like to do.
So in the beginning, what advice would you have for someone who's maybe starting their own business now? Maybe it's not in real estate, but what did you do in the beginning, mistakes you made, or nuggets of advice you have that you would offer to someone else now who's in that situation?
Yeah, you have to be passionate about it, number one. Right. You have to believe in yourself and not question yourself and know that this is what you want, and you're just going to have to go out and get it. You're going to get a lot of doors slammed in your face, and you can't take it personally. You just got to brush yourself off and go to the next door or the next phone call. I've had agents, thought they hung up the phone with me and I could hear them talking about me in the background. So it made my shell harder, and I just kept on going. And I'll have to say that agent is actually a client of ours now. So there's that.
You won.
Persistent. Yes, that's it.
When you first started and pitched this idea of, basically give me all your paperwork is how I'm understanding it. Was it so foreign to them in the beginning that they were like, why would I do that?
It is. It's hard still to sell sometimes to agents, even though I've been around for a really long time, because they don't want to give up control. And that's probably a lot of their biggest, worry is that they're going to lose control. And we don't take it from them. We just simply work with them, help them, and take admin details that will literally drown them off their plate so they can go get more business or go do more things that are going to actually build their business instead of slowing it down. I have built a lot of trust over the years with a lot of local agents, and it's good. And I built a reputation. So it's easier now, but it's still hard to kind of pull that paperwork from the agents and have them trust us. But we've been around a long time, so we've earned a good bit of trust with a lot of them.
How many people work for you now?
Well, there's 10 of us total. That's great. And we're always growing, and we've actually expanded into the upstate and to the Midlands and Aiken, which is horse country, and I'm a big horse girl, so hitting that market pretty hard, but we're concentrated more on the low country right now.
Right. Look at what you've done since you were in your late 20s, sitting in that office chair.
That's it.
I can't do this for the rest of my life. What pieces of advice do you have for anyone who is in the process of buying a home or closing on a home? I mean, I know every situation is unique, but do you have any universal advice that you could give to people to make that process go more smoothly?
Absolutely. If you're selling your home, get all your ducks in a row. If you have flood insurance on your home, have all those documents ready so that when you go under contract, people like me are going to ask you for that information, because it does nothing but empower the buyer side. So it's not going to slow the closing process down. So that sort of stuff that's going to be helpful to the other side, be ready to be there for them. Selling and buying a home to me is very personal and it's very stressful on both sides. You're either selling your family home or you're buying your first home, kind of a thing. So everybody on either side is emotional. And I would just remember that if you're a buyer or a seller, that it's emotional for everybody. Just be ready, be patient, be organized, and have all your stuff ready so you can submit it to your lender, your attorney, and things like that.
Right. And I imagine even though if it's hard, if you're selling, you want your home to be in good hands. So you want them to have that information, so they can take care of it like you did. How does someone go about working with you? What's the best way to get a hold of you?
Sure. I would love for y'all to give me a phone call. My cell phone is 843-814-7647, or you can email me. My email address is sandra.patrick@SC for South Carolina C2C.com.
All right. And we'll put it on the screen too for people who are watching over
Thank
video.
you.
Before we go, I always ask this, and you don't have to share if you don't want to, but what's like a crazy story, like some crazy fight or clients or anything that would entertain us before we go today?
Oh yeah. I have one that I was actually on the listing side of, and I don't know if you're familiar, sometimes you have domino effects. So the first house has to close in order for the second one to have to close, in order for the third one to have to close. I was the first domino. of the seller side. But then I was also the second domino for the buyer side in the middle. And somehow I got drug into the third one because I was, having to work with the lender and everybody like that, and work with out-of-state clients at that point in time, and just really dealing with all these different people. And all of a sudden I started doing a closing in New York because they liked what I was doing as the middle domino here to make the third domino fall. So it was interesting and fun, and a lot of paperwork and phone calls and late night Zooms and all that sort of stuff, but we got it done.
But you got it done. And you're just too good at what you do that people out of New York are clamoring.
Well, I try to be the best I can. So,
are you super organized personally, because you have to be so organized for work? Like, is your house like Marie Kondo heaven? Are you?
Sadly, it actually is. My friends come in here and mess up my pantry because I have all the cans lined up, and they like to mess with me and turn them around and things. So I am kind of that person by nature.
Yeah. So maybe when you're done with this and you retire, that could be like your second business.
That's kind of what I want to do one day.
I have 4 kids, so you're welcome to come over anytime and tackle the upstairs.
Oh, God bless. I have 2 teenagers, so that's plenty.
Why do they get so messy in their teen years? What happened?
I have no idea.
Sandra, it has been such a pleasure to talk to you. I'm going to say your website again. It's lowcountryc2c.com is where they can go for more information. Did you mention any social media handles that you want people to follow you?
I'm on Facebook, and it's South Carolina C2C.
All right, Sandra, thank you for your time today.
Thanks, Erin. I really appreciate it.
See you around soon. And you have been listening to the Voice of Charleston Women.
Thanks for spending time with Charleston Women Podcast. Please like us and follow us on whatever platform you're using to access Charleston Women Podcast.